Hello everyone and welcome to the Majorly Minor Podcast. I am your host, Maris John Ahi, and today I wanted to talk about rash decisions. So when you're working in the creative field, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and make rash decisions about stuff. You realize you have to change something fast or pivot to something else, and that's not always a bad thing because sometimes you just know when something isn't working or when something has to shift. I think a super famous example of this is when the clothing brand The Gap decided to redesign their logo in 2010. Now at the time, people actually saw this as a panic move because The Gap was struggling to fix their low sales numbers. So they changed their logo and there was such a huge uproar about it that in less than a week, they changed it back to the old one. And so sometimes you make a rash decision to change something and then maybe make another one to change something back. No harm, no foul. But what happens when something significant happens in society and people start to make rash decisions about entire industries? The reason this came to me was because there have been numerous articles online lately about physical offices. And this is mainly in response to the recent pandemic and the ways in which office spaces might evolve over the next few decades. But instead of having thoughtful discussions about this, many people have just decided to make large blanket statements about how offices are dead and how we will never get back to normal life ever again. And usually these statements are just performative. They never provide any actual facts or evidence to support anything that they're saying. But seeing all these articles made me remember what was said after September 11th, because at that time, many people predicted that skyscrapers would be a thing of the past too. In the moment, no one could have imagined that society would want to build more skyscrapers, but in due time, they kept getting built. So much so that since 2001, there have actually been about 1,400 skyscrapers built all over the world. So clearly society got past its initial hesitancy to live or work in a tall building. After some time, people made balanced decisions instead of rash decisions. And so yes, clearly office spaces are not in demand right now. And clearly we need to rethink the concept of what an office even is post-COVID. But that doesn't mean that it's dead and gone and that everyone should panic. It just means that we need to tweak some things and adapt. I think it's really important to know when to refine or retool something instead of just throwing something away. So yes, the takeaway in all this is knowing what is a rash decision and what is a balanced one. Not every decision has to be done in the spur of the moment. And similarly, not everyone needs to be drawn out for a significant amount of time. I think the key is knowing when to make which one and when not to. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll be back with another episode soon. Subscribe to the podcast if you'd like, and thanks for listening. All right, see you later.